zero chance the Giants leave this draft without taking a quarterback. Because if you listen to John Mara talk, John Mara is never going to tank, and he's had it with the losing, which means you're going to be middle of the pack and be a quarterback held for years. And Daboll and Shane are going to get fired. Shane has to make a quarterback pick in this draft, this great quarterback class. And Mara said himself, he was like, "Oh yeah, well, my scouting department's telling me that this is the best quarterback class in years or whatever." So there's zero chance. I'm telling you that they leave this class without a quarterback, one of the top guys in this draft. I'm telling you. You can book it right now. They're going to take a quarterback. I promise you.
This isn't
one way or another.
NBA. There's like more than 30 picks in the draft. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, they're not.
I'm saying,
even if you don't have somebody at 6, you're going to have to take somebody in the 4th round. What, you guys have 47?
They ain't taking someone at 47 to bet their careers on with the Giants. They're going to take one of the top quarterbacks early in the class. And I'm not saying it won't be Jaden Daniels, it won't be Caleb Williams, but it could be one of Drake May, it could be Mike Penix, it could be JJ McCarthy. It's going to be someone like that. I'm just telling you, they're not going to bet if they don't take a quarterback in this class, they are screwed. I'm telling you that. Telling you, bro.
They're going to have to trade or mortgage the future a little bit. That's what I think.
What makes you feel that they're not going to get a quarterback?
Who's saying that? You saying it to Miles? Not to me.
Whoever feels like the Giants won't take a quarterback, what is their option?
Thank you. See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
But
they have no choice.
You act like it's that simple. Like, there's 6 quarterbacks you can take in the top 10? No. So you're gonna have to make a move. Whether they take it or not is up to the beholder, which is probably the Cardinals. Because I don't see the Patriots trading off of that pick. They have to. They have to take a quarterback. Sure, Jacoby Brissett's solid. But, I mean, I'm not playing Madden. I'm not stacking all the chips on my receivers and other positions to give it to Brissett to run the show. They got to find their next guy. They've been looking for it since Tom Brady left.
If the Patriots take a quarterback with that roster right now and they don't have conviction on him, they're not sure he's going to be a superstar. He don't look like it throughout his first year. They're going to mess him up.
Yeah,
they don't got nothing. They got nothing.
Brissett is there.
Did he not coach under Belichick?
Who's the coordinator over there? Since when did they groom good quarterbacks over there? It's outside of the Tom Brady situation. Who's the coordinator over there? Who's grooming him? Who's coaching Drake May over there? If they take Drake May, because we all know he needs coaching. Who is it? Because they throwing a me over there. They don't have anyone.
Mac is an example. Mac was not good. He was overrated in college.
That's why I didn't say Mac. That's why I didn't say Mac though. That's why I didn't say him. But at the same time, he was successful in year 1, kinda. He was pretty decent in year 1.
They literally coddled him. If you remember against Buffalo, he threw it 2 times and they won, like 10-6. That doesn't show me that quarterback's going to be there for the long haul. That shows me we can win in spite of him.
Hey, listen, I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying that situation is bleak, and they better be really careful not to mess that guy up. And by the way, when it's over, it's over. When you take the quarterback, you take him. I can't worry about that no more. There's no chance he'll be a part of my franchise, who I root for. So that's fine. Like, to heck with whatever happens to that quarterback. That's fine. But I'm just saying to you, like, if they trade down, I understand the logic a little bit, considering the fact that they won't be good. Like, they'll be of these teams, they could be the worst. They will be the worst of these top 10 teams. And so I understand why you might trade off of it. Plus, it's like, oh yeah, Mayo's talking about, oh yeah, well, Drake May has the most work to do. He's the most raw prospect of them all. We know you're not going to develop. You're a former linebacker. We know you're not about to develop him. We know you're not. Mm-hmm. So are you sure you want to take him? Are you sure you're the guy to do that job? Colin, like you are. That's all I'm saying. But they have no choice. The Giants have no choice. What are you saying?
I hear that, but what are the Patriots supposed to do? Is just pass on a quarterback because they don't have the right infrastructure around him yet?
I mean, I'm not saying that. If I were a Patriots fan, I'd want them to take a quarterback. I would. I'm just saying, like,
but the luxury of them
also be fully aware.
Have to play day 1. That's why they got.
Yeah, but who's coaching him when he's not playing though? And when he does play, who's coaching him? What kind of offense are you running? Are you running all right offense for the guy? Yeah, right. I mean, look, good luck with that. Good luck. Good luck. I'm serious. Like they don't have a great offensive mind over there. Who's the offensive coordinator? I'm so curious. I'm about to look it up because who's the person calling the shots over there offensively for the Patriots? Because seriously, like it didn't fire Bill Staff. Didn't fire Bill Staff, bro. So I'm like I said, like all I know is y'all ask me about stuff that's not my business. It's not my business.
It's Alex.
But my business is
Alex Van Pelt.
huh? What? You mean it's Scott Van
Alex
Pelt?
Van Pelt, that's the OC.
You talking about Scott Van Pelt?
Nah, Alex Van Pelt, who is a former quarterback. Hold on. He was drafted right after Drew Bledsoe. Actually, let me fact check that.
So he's a teacher. If you
He
can't
played. He played backup. He played backup quarterback for the Bills from 1994 to 2003. Appeared in 31 games, started 11, and finished with 16 touchdown passes and 24 interceptions.
Jeez. Oh my
Hey,
god.
so to give a little context, he's worked with Deshaun Watson, Jeff Briscoe, PJ Walker, Dorian Thompson Robson, Joe Flacco, and Baker Mayfield.
Hey, the hell with all that. 16 touchdowns to 24 interceptions is insane, bro.
But yo,
So this guy's unproven. This guy's unproven.
As
how
a
often
player.
do you actually get a coach that was a superstar Hall of Fame player?
You don't have to be.
It never happened.
You don't have to be. You don't have to be though to
You
be
don't
a
have
great
to.
coach. I'm very aware of that. I'm just saying this guy has no track record of building a quarterback from the ground up, and it's going to take a little bit of that to take Drake May, who's a ball of clay. You have to mold him the right way, or else it's going to go south.
But he'll be the best
Sidebar,
Hall of
he
player
did.
available.
Sidebar, he did work with A-Rod in 2018, and A-Rod was not happy when the Packers let him go.
I don't know what that means. Yeah, they
That's like Mike
drugs
Brown.
together.
That's like Mike Brown coaching LeBron. Like, what are you really doing for him? He's not actually really coaching him. You're just telling him,
Hey.
like,
Look. I'm just telling you right now. All I'm saying to you is the Giants have no choice. You can talk about all this blah 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 blah. That Joe Shane has to make his pick for his franchise quarterback. He has to get his guy, whoever that may be, whoever's left that he has to choose from. He has to take quarterback because you cannot play Daniel Jones the entire year and risk him getting hurt. You can't do it. You can't do it for obvious reasons, for contract, for financial implications. So those are what they're saying. They're saying to you, "Oh yeah, he's gonna start. He's gonna start." They ain't saying nothing past that. They're not building with him, and they sure as hell aren't promising he's going to finish the season as a starter because they can't do that. They can't. So whether I'm just telling you, like they're going to go quarterback at some point, and it's going to be early in the draft, one way or another. I don't care how they do it, but they're going to do it. And if they don't do it, don't call me, don't text me, don't reach out to me. I'm gone for a long time. That's all I'm saying.
sounds like
Hey. Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Bench Mob ENT podcast. I got a little intro right there, little conversation behind the scenes. We decided to let y'all in to what be going on before we start the show. We have the Fantastic Four is on tonight. How y'all fellas doing?
doing good.
Doing good, bro. Got me all amped up. I'm all right.
We're gonna start off with this, right? So as of late, we've had and before we even start, handle some house rules, hit the subscribe button, share, like, comment, make sure you tell any and everybody about it. We are trying to be here for a good time and a long time. Jontay Porter, Shohei Ohtani have been a part of the most recent alleged gambling scandals. Shohei, he blames his interpreter. Jontay Porter was allegedly betting the unders, which is nasty work, on himself, betting 0.5 3-pointers, and he just wouldn't shoot or took himself out of the game in the first quarter. With these most recent allegations, these most recent scandals, should professional sports leagues should they have expected this with the unintended consequences of getting in bed with all of these sports gambling sites? Specifically, when you look at the NBA, they went full-fledged, and there are currently obviously rumored to be trying to get a team in Vegas.
Yes. Yeah, they should have expected this. There's a history of guys getting in over their heads, being addicted to gambling and mortgaging their futures. We had the ref. What was it? Tim Donahue? Was that his name? And he had the long history of betting on games that he was reffing, and they had Eric Lewis, who, they looked in his tracker, and he's never been proven to be a gambler or be implicated in that. But they, looked into his history, and he's a Celtics fan, and the Celtics had rarely ever lost when he was when he was reffing those games. Funny enough, I haven't seen that guy in a long time. But I think there's always been the dark history around gambling in sports, even when gambling wasn't allowed. People have done it through bookies, through all this type of stuff, back channel stuff, and now you're seeing it come to light here. Now you're seeing it come. I'm seeing Miles comment now. Now you're seeing it come to light here, and so I think the NBA I think the NBA wouldn't want to find that out that one of these guys have actually been gambling on games and messing up the integrity of the sport in a league that's already struggling a bit to find the next face of the league after LeBron James. The last thing you need is this kind of scandal. And so even if Jontay Porter was doing this, and I think he was. I think he there was 1 3 he made, he banked it in. He was mad to score that joint. Like he was like, damn, like he looked like he was upset about it. So I think he won't want to, make this public, and I think they'll do their best to hide this and cover it up because, again, I just don't think they need to scam the black mark on their resume right now, considering everything that's going on with them and where they are. They're in a time of transition, leaving, an era where they would go from Jordan to Kobe to LeBron. Like now, there's no next face, so they need to be able to, just sweep this under the rug. Move forward the best way possible. But if you ask me if I think he did it, he did do it, and I'm not saying it like, don't sue me now. It don't mean nothing. I'm not like saying it like for sure. I'm just saying I think he did. And so, with this situation, I just kind of feel like, it was bound to happen in sports with this gambling situation. It's a I don't want to say it's a deviant behavior because I know a lot of people that do gamble under control. But there's people who mortgage the crib on all types of stuff. I mean, when you mortgaging the crib on a Shaq making a free throw or something like that, like you deserve hell, So for that, so it's all type of nonsense going on with gambling. But I thought this was inevitable. I thought this would happen. I don't think this is the last we'll hear of it. I think there's a lot of back channel stuff that's going on. Guys bet on other sports. Guys bet on horses all the time. They don't even know the horse. Guys just bet to bet. It's just one of those things where you're just like scratching an itch for some people. So it was a dangerous thing getting in bed with all these gambling companies, and I feel like the NBA is learning that the hard way right now. And hopefully it doesn't completely screw their product up in the long run. But I think they'll find a way around it.
I don't even think it's just going to be like the NBA though. Like I think obviously we've seen it in the NFL with Calvin Ridley, like right, he had that year-long suspension. But I think this is what you're going to have to deal with if you are a league operation when you're pushing gambling so heavily, right? Part of this is their fault. Not saying that the players don't have to take blame. You're not allowed to gamble on your respective sport or whatever your contract says as it pertains to other sports. But for this purpose, like it's kind of the league's fault as well for how just think about the shift in when we were told gambling was bad to these past few years where now you can't escape it. It is everywhere now. Commercials, Instagram ads, like the sponsorships, partnerships, like everywhere you look, it's something promoting gambling and a new place to place bets and gamble. Like it's out of control, honestly.
Yep. It is.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I remember before it was legalized, it wasn't like as big of a deal. Sure, like I've been to bookies where you have to go to a bodega to go to the back to place a bet and all that stuff. And
man,
yeah, those places got shut down, and you were a little more nervous to bet, and it wasn't as dangerous, I feel like, as it is now, because now people are putting lots of money on it. Like it's kind of like the lottery, but you have an even higher chance of hitting and making some money off of it, as opposed to picking some numbers for a lottery that's 1 in a billion to win. So like I could see somebody putting in like $100 bet on LeBron and AD to score 30 points. That could happen any given night. So for these people, this is like a second job. And I think, who was it, a couple weeks ago, the coach for the Cavs, Bickerstaff, was commenting on it about how you have people from the stands yelling like, "Oh, put the starters back in. I got the over or I got the under. I need you guys to keep playing and keep going hard." And those people have a lot of money on the line, so then it can get dangerous. But like with Porter and like Shohei, like Porter, I looked it up. He's making only 400,000, which I mean, only is funny, but NBA standards, that's not that much money. So I guess I understand if he was trying to make a little bang for his buck and put some bread down on.
Hey, Miles, hold on. You know the total of that was only he's gonna get 20K. What they're saying, it was supposed to be 20K off of what he did. By the way, just throw that out there.
Crazy.
I mean, it's crazy. It's stupid because then if it does come out that he did it, then his career in the NBA is over. It's not like he's a star. That's the difference between him and Ohtani. Like Ohtani, they're going to sweep it under the rug because he's the biggest star in baseball and he's the face of the league. And even if he did it, if he didn't do it, this will pass in a couple weeks. Like we're not going to be talking about this with Ohtani because, like we've seen, he can pitch, he can hit. He's an anomaly in baseball at this point. He's one of those players you see in high school, not in the pros. So, I mean, it was surprising to see him be this oblivious to what his interpreter was doing. Because, I mean, it is weird that like $4-5 million goes missing and you have no account of how it went missing. So that's the only sketchy part of it. But at the same time, like I said, he's the best player in baseball. Like, that's the same thing. Like, if this was Jordan, which he had his gambling issues way back when, it wasn't betting on sports. He was just betting on stuff that you do at the casino. Just a true competitor. For whatever reason, he had endless amounts of money.
Oh, my God, bro.
He was a true competitor. Betting on golf.
No, he was a no good deviant. That's what he was, betting on whatever. Just he's a chain smoking child. What's the other? What's his? Look at his son, bro, dating 50-year-old women. Come on, man. Come on, he's this guy, alcoholic.
Yeah, what's he supposed to do? He's
not hanging out with Diddy. He was with Diddy, you know that, right? They say he was with Diddy.
Ah, bro.
No Diddy.
They say he was Meek before Meek became Meek.
Hey, that prison, the holidays when they had the little talent show, Diddy, you got R. Kelly, and you got Young Thug. That's gonna be the craziest concert ever, yo.
It really is, though.
Young Thug,
it really is.
He's never seen the light of day. Young Thug, he's gone. At this point,
stop. You're gonna make Greg upset, bro.
I was about to say
that. You're not upset. Why are you not upset about that?
No, like, you see how heavy he is?
Go back.
In there.
Yo, bro, they're doing him. Go back and listen to his music, bro. And ain't nobody making music that should be in jail, bro. Ain't no way, bro.
Well, no.
It ain't no way, bro. It ain't even that. It ain't even. Come on, bro. Beautiful Thugger Girls, bro. Don't even get me started, bro. Come on, man.
Hey,
get him out of jail, bro. Free on Thug.
Before we go for picks 11 through 20, where y'all stand on the Drake, Kendrick, J. Cole, Future? Where y'all stand on that? And I know we have the analytics to prove that y'all want to hear this, because one of our most played episodes on YouTube is the episode where we literally broke down the Drake album. What was that? 2 years ago or something like that. It got like 340 views on YouTube. They watched a full hour conversation of us breaking down that album. So I know y'all want to hear it. Where are y'all standing at on this situation? Because it seems like it's about to start the Avengers of rap right now.
Well, you know, Kendrick likes to poke the bear every once in a while. You know, he'll come out of hiding. I mean, he's probably the most dangerous rapper in this scenario, just because he's built for this. Like, sure, people can look back at the whole Drake and Meek, but that was him. Like, Drake basically bullied him into submission. Meek's career never recovered. Like,
Meek is never being into mission.
Kendrick, Meek will never recover from that. Jesus. Kendrick, on the other hand, he's cemented in the game. Like, he's got 15 Grammys. He's got countless classics. He's got a couple classics on his hand. And you could say what you want about his music. He makes good music. Everybody has their own taste. Drake's music and his fans are different from what, Kendrick's fans like. So, of course, you're a Drake fan. And I saw what you guys were talking about yesterday. I refrained. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to get into it. It's too late at night. Go to sleep.
Yo, hold on. Hold on. I would argue that there are more Kendrick fans who like Drake's music than there are Drake fans who like Kendrick music, because Drake makes something for everybody. Am I wrong in saying that? Am I wrong in saying that?
I don't want to say it's kid rock music, but it's like dumbed down rap.
This nigga, yo, kids pop music is crazy. Yo, I'm not
gonna do him like that. I'm not gonna go that far. But if you look at it, every project since "Thank Me Later," the lyrics haven't been as strong as they used to be. Like this last album, was he spitting, or was he just
when he dropped the deluxe? He wasn't going crazy on the deluxe. You know about the deluxe when he added 5 songs.
He dropped the deluxe because Joe Buttons was pushing his buttons. That's why.
It don't matter. It don't matter why he dropped it. Was there bars on the deluxe? That's why I asked you. Was there? And there was. On Evil Ways. Don't even do that.
What happened about the regular album? He had to do
the regular album was great. He didn't have to do no deluxe. The regular album was great. And for all you know, he had those 5 songs in the tuck. He's gonna drop them anyways, even though Joe Budden said whatever he said. I personally don't think that guy cares what Joe Budden says. I just don't see it. Because I think that the success speaks for itself. And the run is unprecedented. Yo, I'm watching Big Sean do a Tiny Desk the other day. And I'm thinking about Big Sean's run when I was in middle school and high school, and how I used to bump his junk every day, and he fell off the face of the earth. And the thing he was most famous for at one point was dating Janae Aiko. That was the thing he was most famous for at one point. We forgot all about the music. You got to think about that, bro. Like, Kendrick goes and crawls back into the little hut he's from every 5 years, and after he drops music, and Drake is consistently putting out banger after banger after banger after banger, top 10 hit, or top of the chart, over and over and over again. He's done that his entire career. And I'm gonna say, look, I don't disagree with anybody who says that he hasn't been putting out like crazy bars in his music for a while. There's truth to that. I agree, but people sleep on like the gems. Like, CLB is a gem. Certified Lover Boy is a gem that people don't talk about. All right, and I think the problem with Drake is y'all want him to like conform to this like old school rap where like, yeah, you want bars, or you want him like on some spoken word type, like you want him like old school type. Like, it's not that. That's not what the kids like. He's not what the kids like.
He's the best rapper. Does he not claim that?
Oh, Drake?
Yeah,
of course he does. And he has no leg to stand on in that conversation.
I'm not.
He does.
At the same time,
he does. And Drake battle tested, by the way.
Bro, he's battle tested against Meek Mill.
No, and Push. And you could say he lost, but he's battling against Push.
He's not battle tested against Push because he ducked.
Yes, he is.
He ducked the smoke.
He didn't continue after he brought up his kid, but he was in it. They were in it. He was going back and forth up until he brought up his son.
So you're saying he lost? He got ended. He got ethered, basically.
He did lose, but okay, hold on. He lost and got. You could say he got ethered, sure. Who listened to Pusha T anymore? Who listened to him? That's Miles. Who listens to Pusha T?
We're talking about like beef. That's what the question.
That's fine.
That's fine. Someone asked us, because now we're talking about music and lyrics, and it's really about the beef.
The brilliance of this whole beef situation with Kendrick and Drake is that is that at the end of the day, whether Drake lost or won, no one would care because the hits would keep on coming. The people who listen to his music would still keep on listening, and I'd love to see them go back and forth at it. I'm a competitor. I like to see it. I like to see it. But if you ask me who the best rapper in the world is right now, because this is all about an argument. This is an argument about who is the best. So if you ask me who the best rapper in the world is right now, lyrically, it's Kendrick Lamar. I mean, excuse me, it's Cole. It's J Cole. It's J Cole. J Cole is the best rapper in the world right now. J Cole. I don't think that's really up for debate, in my opinion. I think that he is the best rapper in the world right now. He is on a heater. He is on a heater. And so notice, I mean, a lot of the shots weren't at J. Cole. He knew what he was doing. There you go on at Drake. Like Drake's the weak link. I want Drake to respond so bad in this conversation, but I'm just gonna tell you, and I said this in the group chat, so I'll say it here. Music is about mastering what people want to hear sonically. What sounds good to people sonically. All right. So people get mad because like, oh, well, Drake's putting out music that has no substance and blah, blah, blah. He's talking about the same stuff and they're almost 40 years old, whatever. Yo, I don't care. I care about making music that people want to dance to in the club, that people want to play when they're by the pool, that people want to play at their quinceañera or their prom or whatever. Like, I want to play that joint. I want to make music that everyone listens to. I do not want to make a song. And Kendrick Lamar, God help me, made a song on his last album where he literally had two people arguing for the entire time. Like, get out of here. Ain't nobody trying to hear that, bro. Like, stop playing. He acts like you make music for a very specific sect of people. You make music for rap purists. So guess what? That's what you're gonna get. In these conversations, you're gonna get ganged up on. You're not gonna have the radio hits that he has. You're not. You are not going to be in the same conversation, not gonna be in the same lore. And I bring this up to say, when Kendrick goes at Drake like this, it comes from a place of jealousy. Because he's like, why don't people appreciate my music? I rap better than him. Like, I put more substance in my music. Oh, he's mad as hell. Like, so you put out this song, whatever. Like, and come on, bro. Like, that's what it is. He's a storyteller. Drake is a storyteller on some of his songs, not all of his songs. On some of his songs, not all of his songs.
No, but I agree with that. I'm saying that's what Kendrick values, though, right? Like he values, like he's a lyricist. You know what I'm saying? Like he wants to make sure he's telling a story in every song that he puts out.
Yes, 100%. That is so true. That is 100% true. And I think again, we should appreciate him for what he is. But if you want to talk about like Drake is above this joint, like that's why they're all teaming up on him. He's above it. They're jealous of the success. The success is crazy. He's above this rap shit. He is. He's above it. He's above this rap stuff, bro. He is.
Nobody's above.
Can we be honest?
Nobody's above the rap stuff. If you're
the
top dog and you're getting attacked left and right, you should be able to respond. Jay-Z did it.
He's gonna. I'm not saying he won't respond. I never said.
I don't know, but that's the difference. Yeah. Is he going to respond direct? Because Kendrick was pretty direct. I mean, you can't, hide behind first-person shooter and for all my dogs in the song. Drake
was directing that song though. Drake was directing that song though. Drake was direct on For All the Dogs at Kendrick. There were direct shots at Kendrick. We didn't even know he was talking about him. Those are direct shots. So you could say Drake started it. I don't know, but he was direct.
He's always been a sneak disser. He's a subliminal rapper. Like he's not going to send a straight shot. He's not going to say names. He's always going to,
he didn't say his name. He didn't say his name though. Kendrick didn't say his name either. Look, I'm just telling you, it comes from a place of jealousy, and Drake has mastered the art of understanding what people want to hear. 12-year-old white girls listen to his music. I listen to his music. All people listen to his music. It don't matter who. All right, Drake could do a stadium tour and probably sell it out. I always argue, can Kendrick do a stadium tour? Hell no. He can't do no stadium tour. He ain't selling out stadiums. No, he's not. He is not. He did a stadium tour? He did not do a stadium tour. Football
Has
stadium?
Drake done a stadium tour?
He has not. I don't believe. Not yet. He could sell out stadiums though. I promise you that. Drake could sell out stadiums. Kendrick cannot. I am not going to go. Look, I'm being real.
Drake.
On his last album, on Kendrick's last album, I think for me personally, and I got to go back to it, was with Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. That's what it's called. No, bro. I think I got like 4 bangers on there. He had like.
He's a different type of artist. You don't really like him. You've already mentioned that. So
I do like Kendrick though. I do. I just don't like the over rapping. I don't like over rap. It's okay. Like every song don't gotta be that deep, man. Like it's okay. Every song, Kendrick, that's tiring. Kendrick, that's tiring, bro. You really
So
put a song on here where two people are arguing, bro. A man and a couple are arguing on this song, bro. Yo, Chris, there's a song on this last album where it's not even a song; they just argue. It's just two people arguing. I'm not even kidding you.
You want him to mumble like a little like Kid Cudi or something like that?
I didn't say all that. I didn't say that. What's the song? Kendrick's capable though. What's the song he had with Kodak on the last album? That song was a banger.
That song was a banger.
That song was a banger though. And it wasn't because Kodak was on it. Because Kendrick was doing his thing. He can harmonize with the best of them. He has the ability, but he don't do it enough. And he drops every 10 years. So really, what are we talking about? What's the conversation, Kendrick? What are you mad about? You're mad because you know the success he has.
So you mentioned he drops it every 10 years. We went through the first 10 picks. We're going through the next 10 picks. Y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed that segment. Y'all, I know how much y'all wanted to hear that music conversation, especially
Tone, you got it. You can't let this conversation pass without people giving me their honest opinion about who they think is better between J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar. I want to hear who people think is better. Whose music sound better to you? Who do you listen to in the car? Who do you prefer? And I want to know because I've had that argument in the group chat yesterday, and I want to know who people think because I have an opinion. But people, if you heard this conversation, you know what I think. You know what I think. That's all I'm saying.
I think we all would agree.
If I look at Chris right now, I know Chris listens to J. Cole more than Kendrick Lamar. I just know
100%. 100%.
Yeah, you see? He the type. I see it.
Nah, you got to ask him. You listen to Morgan Wallen or Kendrick Lamar?
He's still not even saying his last name right. He said Wallen.
Morgan Wallen.
The number 11 pick. The number 11 pick, we got the Minnesota Vikings. Who y'all think they take at 11? Now, Miles did say that they would trade up last week, but who do y'all see, Greg? Who do they take at 11? And then Chris could go and Miles could end it off.
This is tough. Okay. No, I have it. So, yeah, in my mock draft, I had Brian Thomas going top 10. I didn't have Michael Penix going top 10. So I think that what's going to eventually happen here is I think with the Vikings, they're going to go Michael Penix Jr., next best available quarterback, because they need one before Justin Jefferson riots. So I think they'll go Michael Penix Jr. in my mock draft because I didn't have them trading up, I don't think, into the draft, into the top 10 at all. So I think that's where they would go. And I do think Penix is going to rise. I think he's going to be a late riser in the process. I think he had a great pro day. I don't see why he was falling in the first place. I know the injury concerns, but he throws a great ball. So I don't really. And he ran like a 4.5 today. He ran well today at the pro day too, and had jumped like a 36 inch on his vertical. So I don't see how he falls really into the 20s. I think with a guy like that in a league that needs quarterbacks, he's going to go early. There are the Raiders, so I would say he's going to go to the Vikings.
I don't think they stay at 11 though. I think they creep up, bro. I really do, and I think they go after a guy like JJ. I really think they're the team that can go after a guy like JJ McCarthy, have him come into their building, not play for a year, right? Who they got? They're the ones that got Sam Darnold, right?
Yeah,
they got Sam Darnold out there. Sam Darnold is what he is. He'll play. He'll sit behind Sam Darnold. They'll develop him. Kevin O'Connell's a good coach. That's somebody that's going to get Justin Jefferson excited to play with, coming off a national championship. I think Michael Penix, I've definitely heard ties to Minnesota. I heard the people like him out there, and that was prior to today. He obviously shined at his pro day. But yeah, I don't think the Vikings are going to stay at 11. I think they're going to make a jump.
So I would love to hear where you think they're going to jump to, because you missed it last week. I would love to know where you thought they'd jump to, because I don't know how they get to 4 if 6 is available for teams to fall down into as opposed to it. But let's just say the Giants aren't.
Who's that 4 right now?
The Cardinals. You're gonna take a lot. It's gonna take a lot. You know how drafts work. It's going to take a lot to get up to 4 from 11. It is. It's not easy to do that. To get up that many spots into the top 10 when there's that many blue chip players.
They also have 23.
Okay, you're gonna take more than that too. What you mean?
They got 11 and 23, but then they don't got to pick until I I think they don't have a pick until 90 something after. Tone can fact check this, but I think it's 11-23 and then 90 something. So yes, it's good. Definitely going to take some work, but you know the Cardinals don't need a quarterback, right? So that's kind of the Cardinals have the cards in their hands at the end of the day. But yeah, man, I don't know how they get it done. I just don't see them staying at 11. I think they're going to be eager to get a quarterback. Because they know Sam Darnold's a bridge guy.
I agree, but also you gotta, and I got on Miles with this last week, bro. Everybody looks at these quarterbacks differently. Some people have Jaden Daniels as a top quarterback in the class. Some people have Caleb Williams. Some people like JJ McCarthy. Some guys like Drake May more than everybody else. It just depends. So, what's the market for for JJ McCarthy? And if Drake May's there for whatever reason at 3, and the Patriots trying to trade off for whatever reason, you see how it changes things. You see how many things can happen. And so I wonder what the market is in terms of teams trying to trade up for JJ McCarthy. Who's trying to do that? You know what I mean? Outside of the Vikings, did they have competition legitimately? Because if they do, and let's just, again, the best example is the Giants. I'm sorry. If they were at 6 and they said, I love JJ McCarthy, we love him, let's go get him. I'd rather fall to 6 and fall to 11 and 23. I'm sorry, because I might get Marvin Harrison Jr. I might get Malik Neighbors. Like, I'm going to get one of those guys. I'm not going to fall out of the top 10 and then take the scraps at Adonai Mitchell or the Worthy kid. No. I'm going to take I want to get the best receiver. I want to get a blue chip player that I can build as a franchise cornerstone. You see my logic? It makes too much sense. Because I know I'm making sense when Miles is looking at me, shaking his head and shit. I know I'm making sense.
No, because I already made my argument. I already made my argument last week.
I know you did. But I feel vindicated. I feel like I've been vindicated because I hear people who are smart saying what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I just feel like it makes too much sense. It makes too much sense, for teams to want to get out the top 10. For what? The Vikings would have to literally trade so many assets into next year's draft and the year after to get up. It's going to take a lot. Are you willing to do that for JJ McCarthy? Really? That's risky.
Miles, so what do you have happening at 11? From what I have from last week, you had them trading up, and they would be trading back with the Cardinals. So who the Cardinals take at 11?
I think they take Brian Thomas here. I mean, that's the point. You trade out of 4, you recoup a couple picks next year, a couple picks in the first round this year, and you're able to get a top flight receiver. Like, I don't see what's so wrong with taking Brian Thomas. I think Greg last week had said that he's going to go top 10. I don't know about that, but 11 seems about right if we're talking about the Cardinals trading back. I mean, 6'4", 200, runs a 4.3. I think he's got all the talent in the world. Like, he might get overlooked because Neighbors is just a beast. He's like the Jamar Chase clone. But at the same time, I think this kid with some grooming and learning how to run routes and a little bit more work as far as receivers go, he could be a star for them. And he's a deep threat. That's what Kyler needs. Like, they already have Trey McBride for the underneath stuff, and they've got a couple slot guys. So if they have somebody who can stretch the field a little bit, something that they've been missing since D-Hop, and even something that they haven't really had since, Larry Fitzgerald. So to get a guy like this at 11, after trading back from 4 and you miss out on those top 3 guys, it's a good win for them.
We got at 12 the Denver Broncos. Chris, what we see happening at 12?
Man, the Broncos need a lot. They got shipped out Russ. Man, at 12. I'm trying. They got rid of Jerry Jeudy as well, right? So they need some wide receiver help. If James Worthy's still on the board, I think they go James Worthy. But again, who's throwing Worthy the football? They're not in the market for a quarterback. Did they pick up anybody in free agency?
They need a quarterback bad.
Yeah, when Russ left. So shoot, they might be in the market for a quarterback as well. I don't see them taking a quarterback in round 1, Miles, though. because again, like to Jeff's to Greg's point, like we talking about scraps, right? We talking about the top guys being off the board at that point. You know, JJ's potentially gone. Jaden Daniels is definitely gone. Caleb's gone. Drake is going to be gone by that point. You know, you're looking at guys like Bo Nix, Michael Penix. Then you're getting into the Rattlers of the world, right? So look, I'm not sure how Sean Payton and a guy like Penix are going to click after we just saw what happened with Russ. You know, Penix is someone that can run with the football. He's mobile. It's not his first thought on his mind, which I'm sure Sean Payton would like. He wants someone that's going to sit back and throw the football, and that's what Penix does well. He lets his guys eat around him and runs what he needs to. But if I was a betting man, I'd say they go Worthy. I don't think they take a quarterback in round one.
I mean, I think they should look into it. I mean, I'm sure it wouldn't be the prettiest. I mean, Bo Nix is up there. You've got Michael Penix. A couple of those guys you could probably trade back. But then if you do, you risk someone else taking a chance and moving ahead of you to get that quarterback. And right now, all they really have is Jarrett Stidham. And we already know that he's not really that good of a quarterback. So
if they, let's say this, if they do take a quarterback, I see it being Michael Penix Jr. Because at that point, he's going to be the next best quarterback available for sure. If he doesn't get taken top 10, which I don't think he's going to go top 10. But at that point, if you're between picks, 11 and 20, and you need a quarterback, he might be going at 11 if the Vikings stay at 11, right? And that's where it becomes difficult to do these, right? Because if you're the Vikings at 11 and you take Michael Penix, and you're at 12 and you're the Broncos and you really want a quarterback, but all the top guys are gone, you can't just settle on a guy that you don't want, right? You have to hopefully go after someone in free agency next year that you think has potential. And I think that's the hard part, is you're not going to get the guy that you hope for.
True. I mean, when you look at it, they have options. They can either tank next year, take a best player available sort of thing, whether that's like Verse from Florida State or one of the tackles that's fallen. Because you don't want to reach for a quarterback. I mean, they've been burned by that with like Paxton Lynch, and he was terrible. So I don't think they want to go through that again. I mean, Michael Penix just feels too high at 12 for me. And if they could get him in the second round, sure, like that would be a great pick. But like,
it's going to happen, though. You know it's going to happen.
He'll go off the board in the first round, and it could be in the teens. I mean, I thought he was good enough. He was comparable to McCarthy and some of the other top guys. It's just you have the injury history that's going to drive him down a little bit, and the age too. But he's a really good quarterback. We saw it at the pro day. He ran a 4.45. He's got a quick release. I mean, he's one of the more talented throwers of the football in the draft. So, I mean, sometimes you have to reach to get your guy. It might feel like a reach, but 3-4 years from now, it might not look that way. I mean, look at the Ravens and Lamar all those years ago, taking him at the end of the draft, first round, when they could have kept going with Flacco for another year or so and played it out. But they were forward thinking. So it doesn't look like a reach now.
At 13, what we see happening for the Raiders at 13?
I think they go defense. That's the strength of that team. When you think about guys like Max Crosby, Christian Wilkins, I wouldn't be surprised if they went with the dude from Alabama, who sounds like a great kid, by the way, Tyrion Arnold. I listened to his combine podcast episode or podcast radio show when he was a guest on Sirius XM radio. Kid is well-spoken, sounds like he comes from a great background, good head on his shoulders, thinks about things the right way. And on top of that, playing cornerback. You know, he's a dog out there. He compares himself to Darrelle Revis, able to hold an island by himself. And he's lived up to that expectation at Alabama just in terms of his play. So if they can get a lockdown corner on top of that defensive push that they have on the line, I think that'd be a great landing spot for him.
I mean, for Oakland, I think the defense looked pretty good once Pierce took over.
Vegas, by the way.
I'm about to say who?
What'd I say?
Oakland.
Vegas. Memories. I think they take tackle here, like one of the tackles falling, if that's Fuaga or the kid from Penn State. Because I just think that they have O'Connell. They're not going to get one of the quarterbacks, so they got to move past that. They got O'Connell. They brought in Minshew. They're going to fight it out in training camp to see who's going to start. That guy's going to need time. And, like, the defense, I think, is solid. Like, they've got Max Crosby. They've got a couple other guys on that defense that kind of changed things after the coaching change. So I think they wait till the second round to maybe do some stuff on the defensive side. But, like, offensively, like, if you have those tackles sliding like that, I think there's a difference between these first-round tackles and some of the day two guys. Like, those guys can slide in right away. I don't think those day two guys, like, sure, you'll find a diamond in the rough here and there, but I think you've got to get your guy here, whether that's Fuaga or the guy from Washington or the kid from Penn State, because Alt's not going to be there. So I think they go tackle here.
I would agree. I think that's the strength of the draft, or at least one of them, the tackle position. So I think Fuaga's got a lot of noise around him, and he's a riser. People like him a lot. So I think it could be him or the Fashanu from Penn State. I don't think obviously Alt won't be there at that point. It's Alt will have gone to the top 10. I think he's a top 10 guy. But I think one of the offensive linemen are going to go here for sure. We're going to see a run on offensive linemen in the middle of the first round for sure. Because so many of them are going to fall out because there's great wide receivers like Brian Thomas available in the early. So that's what's going to end up happening, I feel like. You're on mute, bro.
At number 14, the New Orleans Saints.
I think this is one of those spots where, like I was saying with Denver, they better get their quarterback if they want to take him, because the Saints are a place that could take a quarterback here, just because I don't think they believe Derek Carr is the solution. They made that move, and they still didn't move the needle. They didn't make that much of a jump from 2 years ago. So they've got to prepare for life after Carr, and that could come as soon as next season. I got to look at the financials, but you've got to be prepared to move on from this guy. Like, he's a good quarterback, but good quarterbacks don't always get you to where you want to go. So I think they could look at a quarterback like Michael Penix, maybe even I don't want to say Bo Nix this high, but I mean, he might go first round. But if Penix is still there, or if he's past 11, and you know that the Broncos are looking at a quarterback, that's where I see them making calls and trying to trade up. But if he falls, I say Penix.
I don't think the Saints.
You don't think Penix gets there, right?
Huh?
You think Penix gets that far? Is a question. Like,
no, I don't think Penix gets that far. We talk about him going with the Vikings, and if not, potentially the Broncos right after at 12. And I just don't think the Saints are going to take a quarterback. When you have a guy like Carr who can play at a decent enough level to have you win games, I don't think they're going to draft a quarterback in the first round. If they want to draft a quarterback, they'll go with someone in a later round. I think they're going to go offensive line too and get that line stabilized and get some more help so Carr has some more time in the pocket.
Yeah. I totally agree. So, like I said, it's going to be a run on tackles.
J.C. Latham, the other boy you just named, although I want him to fall to the Bengals. What did we just say his name was?
Fuaga? I'm from Washington.
Fuaga.
Oh, that guy.
He ain't falling that far. He ain't falling that.
What do you mean? We're 18.
He's not going to be
Yeah,
there.
he ain't falling that far.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. Give me JC Latham.
Are they going to trade T. Higgins or what?
Relax, bro. Relax. It ain't do. Even if we traded him this year to you, y'all not doing nothing with him. You got no one to throw him the football.
First of all,
you ain't got nothing. Chill out.
They got Bo Nix.
I'm not talking about the New York Giants. I'm saying, are you going to trade him in general? Like, I actually don't want T. Higgins. I'm not going to lie to you. I feel like it depends on what the Giants do in the draft. If the Giants can't get, a top tier wide receiver, then maybe we could talk about it. But I don't think that that's the guy I would target. I'd rather target Brandon Ayuk. I'll be honest. But it's a different conversation for a different day. Different conversation for a different day. I'm just saying.
Real quick, what I heard is that we do not necessarily want to trade T. Higgins. We're open to calls, but teams haven't really been calling.
That's what I heard. That's what I was going to say.
And that's probably a part of his injury history, right? So he gonna play on that $21 million tag this year. He gonna get paid crazy this year. And the good thing is we could do that again next year with him if we wanted to as well. We have the money to do that with him next year to pay him that again next year. And I think maybe we explore more trades next year rather than this year. But again, like you said, conversation for another day. He gonna be a Bengal this year though, for sure.
Last but not least. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish, Greg. You good.
I was gonna say I think he's not getting traded because of the wide receivers in this draft class. Teams really can get a bunch of good wide receivers for cheap, which is why he's probably not going. That's what I thought. That's just thought.
That's a good point.
Number 15, Indianapolis coach Anthony Richardson coming back for a fully healthy season. Hopefully, knock on wood. Who would they draft at 15?
Hey, doesn't matter. Let's keep it a stack. Doesn't matter. The Colts, man. I mean, they just signed their wide receiver to an extension. Anthony Richardson's coming back off of an injury. They just parted way with Zach Moss, signed to the Bengals. I mean, they got positions that they need to fill. I think they go somewhere on the offense. I say this is I think they get Pittman some help on the outside. Alex Pierce, it can't be Michael Pittman on one side, Alex Pierce on the other. I think you get another dominant wide receiver in there. That way it takes some pressure off of Pittman or whoever that number one wide receiver is. They could go Neighbors if he's still available.
At 15?
You think that's high for him?
Well, I don't think Neighbors is dropping past like 6.
Yeah. And that's
who?
I gotta.
You say Neighbors?
They could go.
Neighbors where?
Your boy.
Neighbors where?
No. Yeah, you're probably right. That's the L on my part. Rome Odunze could be around.
Rome ain't falling out top 10, bro.
Well, hold on. We talk so wide receivers that are gone are Marvin Harrison Jr. Because look, it ain't just gonna be quarterbacks and wide receivers. Marvin Harrison Jr., Rome Odunze,
you missed the first episode.
Neighbors. Who else? James Worthy?
No, he's going
in the top 10. Yeah, James.
No, I'm saying by pick 15, all those 4 wide receivers are gone. You're saying?
Yeah.
No. What I'm saying, you said the Worthy's on the board. I ain't saying nothing about nobody named Worthy. The only Worthy I know is James Worthy.
We did earlier when you were out.
Oh, okay. Because I think by the time the top 10 picks are done, Neighbors will be gone. Marvin Harrison Jr. will be gone. Odunze will be gone, and Brian Thomas will be gone. Brian Thomas Jr. Those guys will all be gone in the top 10. 4.
I'm not letting this one go, huh?
Did you see the catch he had in the pro day too? Fingertip catch. He is a. Yo,
hey Greg, you know you can only get one of these players, right? And you're not getting all these players.
I said they're going to go in the top 10 to the various teams in the top 10. That's what I said. Receivers. These receivers are going to be gone in the top 10. All those 4 receivers will be picked in the top 10. That's why I believe it's going to happen, along with 4 quarterbacks. But maybe J.D. McCarthy falls out the top 10. Maybe the hype isn't real. Who knows? But I think that 4 receivers will go in the top 10. I do believe that. I'm just saying. Is it crazy? Brian Thomas, you seen the film? There's games where he looks better than the other than what's his face? What's the dude's name? Neighbors. So I don't know why you don't believe in the Brian Thomas Jr. hype, But every year there's a receiver like this who just springs onto the scene. And he's better than the fast guy, the one-trick pony over in Texas. He's better than Adonai Mitchell, whatever his name. He's better than him too. I'm just saying. So I think that there's nothing Brian Thomas Jr. can't do. Roddy can't run. He's fast. I'm serious. There's no hole in this. There's barely any holes in this game. And the last time they had two, and Chris would know. The last time LSU had two receivers like this, at that caliber, what happened?
Don't do
Both
this.
of them were superstars. Both of them were superstars. Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. Both of them.
It's a fine line you're walking down to compare those two.
Brian Thomas Jr. he's really, really good. I don't know. I feel comfortable saying that. He's really good. I know I'm the only person who thinks it.
So wait, Tone, are you going to put out that poll that Brian Thomas is going to be like Justin Jefferson?
I didn't say that. That's all I said.
You kind of did in so many words.
I didn't say that. I said last time they ended up being that's when they had two really good receivers at the same time. Both of them ended up being superstars. I think the same thing could happen here in this case. I do believe that. The comp from Neighbors is OBJ, except stronger and bigger. And the comp for Brian Thomas Jr. to me, I mean, damn, it's hard. It's hard to get a good comp on him. It's hard. I don't want to say AJ Brown. I don't want to say AJ Brown because AJ Brown's like a 2-route pony, 3-route pony, but he's really good at those 3 routes.
Oh my God,
Miles, don't talk about this team like that.
I don't know. AJ Brown, I don't know. AJ Brown's cool. He's fast. He's big. He's strong. He's a hell of a player. If he was AJ Brown, then he'd be better than most receivers that ever come out the draft. But I don't know. I just feel like this guy is really, really good, and I think that he's going to go top 10. I think he can legitimately say that. Measurables, all of it. It all adds up.
Hey, so I knew a segment. Hate it or love it. Y'all know that song about 50. Hate it or love it. We're going to do that for different topics, different things that's happening. Right now, we're going to do hate or love it for some of the NFL changes that are happening this offseason. So I'm going to say the rule. I'm going to say the thing that changed, and y'all just tell me hate it or love it. First one, the new kickoff. Hate it or love it?
Love it. I mean, I feel like we were just about to the point where there were going to be no kickoffs anyway, because everybody just booms it through the end zone. Like, it's not like, what are we watching? Like, you could miss the first 2 minutes of the game because you're not going to get a kickoff return unless someone's bold enough to take it 108 yards. But even that, you might as well add points to it because these guys are kicking it through the goalpost. So at this point, now you're almost getting punished if you do that. So if you do kick it through, I think it brings the ball out to like the 35 or the 40. So they want you to have kickoffs, but they want it to be safe at the same time. So they changed it to the XFL rule where everybody's standing 5 yards apart, can't move until the guy catches it, and then you can engage and return the kick, which I feel like you can still get action off that. You won't see as many collisions as you would with a guy running full speed 60 yards downfield, which is better for the game. I mean, it changes the way kickoffs have always been. But, I mean, if they're going to soften the league up, they might as well go full bore with it.
Yeah, man, I have no reservations with it at all. I think it's going to look weird. I think it's going to look super weird those first few weeks when you watch it. You're going to be like, yo, what is this? But in an attempt to have more kickoffs, which I know that was a bathroom break last year. Let's be honest. When it was kickoff, people would go to the bathroom, go refill up their snacks because they know it was just going right out of the end zone, and then it's going to be a TV break, right? So I think it's going to be more interesting. There's definitely going to be more returns, hopefully, that come with it. But shoot, the hell with the safety of it. I'm ready to see some returns and actually bring that part of the game back, right? Because it was just free cardio out there, or paid cardio rather.
Hey, to your point, 22% of kickoffs last year were actually returned. The NFL has came out and said their goal is to get it back to 80%.
Wow,
that's the goal. They want to have 80% kickoff returns.
80%.
They're wilding.
That's a big jump.
Well, the the joke's on the NFL because you'll still have CTE and brain injuries and head injuries and bodily injuries with this form of return as well. Just because you line these guys up within 5 inches of each other and have them run into each other, it don't mean there's not going to be less injuries and all that stuff. I think that injuries are inevitable in football, and I expect the big plays to rack up with the hip drop tackle being out of the picture as well. I think that you're going to have a bunch of big plays in the NFL because how you going to bring down DK Metcalf,
which is bad for the game.
Tackling him?
Bad for the game.
At the same time, what's good for the game is these guys not breaking their limbs because some 5'9" dude is trying to ride you like a pony up the field.
You act like that was happening every season though, because it's not.
But it does happen though. It happens a lot.
Let's get into it. I know that's the next thing on Tone's list. So
it really was.
I didn't see Odell break his foot doing that.
It really was.
I didn't see Odell break his foot because some Charger did that to him. I'll never forget. But okay, go ahead, bro. I'm just saying. I feel like the new kickoff thing's gonna be a little weird. How do you tell? Is there a rule around them kicking the ball out the end? Because you can still kick the ball out the end zone. So that's what I don't get. How does it change that part?
Because the opposing team gets it at the 40.
Oh, that's
so you don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? You want to keep it in play.
Oh, hell yeah, that's interesting. Okay,
it'll definitely probably go up to that 80% that they want because you're not trying to let no other team start at the 40. Yeah,
that's interesting.
Hate it or love it.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
They got rid of the hip drop tackle. Hate it or love it.
Hate it, absolutely hate it. And it's not even because
he's a DB. He's a former DB, by the way.
I promise you, that's not even the reason why. I think a lot of football players, defensive-minded football players, hate it because now you're just doing too much thinking, right? When you go to make a tackle, it's all instinct. You're just going and trying to get the guy down. It's not like they're like, oh, let me go do a hip drop tackle on this guy. No. You see the guys running away. You're trying to tackle him from behind. You're diving at him. You're just trying to bring him down. That's so hard to do anyways from behind. So now knowing that you're subconsciously thinking, oh, I can't do this. How am I going to get him down in real time? It's almost impossible, man. Like at the end of the day, injuries come with the game of football. You said it all the time, Greg. You are signing up. What do you say? To play a barbaric sport. You are signing up to play a barbaric sport. Like
that's why I ain't sign up.
we know.
Hey, you know would have no problem bringing the dude down from the back? P. Diddy.
Yo, all right.
I'm deceased. That's crazy. Let's be for real, bro. Okay.
No, but I get what you're saying because at the same time, when you're thinking too much on the football field, which is the one place you should be just reacting, it's a problem because then you have too many injuries happening because they're like, oh, should I go low? Should I go high? And everything happens in a split second. Like, you can't really think. You got to react. You got to do in football. And now without the hip, I mean, it's not like they were doing it on purpose. They're trying to bring the guy down, which these guys are getting bigger. You get penalized for a lot more stuff now defensively than you did maybe 15, 20 years ago. And it's kind of reached that point where now they are trying to get more offense in it. Because I saw a stat somewhere they were saying they want more offense in the NFL. This year was a new low. Teams were averaging, I think, or games were averaging like 42 points a game. And I think the year before, like 7 years before, it was like 49, 50 points a game. And I think that's what interests people the most is when you have action and it's not dead. Like if I remember that the Patriots versus Rams Super Bowl was one of the most boring Super Bowls I've ever watched because there was no action. There was like 22 points scored in that game. So like all these rules that they're placing in, it's to get more action. They're almost doing this to put the defense at a disadvantage because now it's like, all right, you're thinking more. That means a guy like Tyreek Hill can just blow by you because you're just standing in your defensive stance thinking about it too much.
But what are we doing for the integrity of the sport then, right? Like,
I mean, it's been lost. It's been lost for a while. I mean,
I know.
If you're taking away what makes football, which is being able to hit people very hard, like that, at this point, you see the Pro Bowl, they took it away basically because it became basically two-hand touch. Now it's flag football.
Bro,
I mean,
think about it. Think about it. 15 years ago, Brian Dawkins, Ed Reed, Ray Lewis. Think about what football was then and where we are now. Like, it's slowly been a decline to this in terms of like becoming a softer sport. Like, we're really talking about a hip drop tackle now. And what killed me last year was when people talked about Logan Wilson, right? And how it was a dirty play. It was all over social media because Mark Andrews, I don't even think he broke his leg. He was out just for a few weeks for whatever the case was.
Broke his ankle.
Rolled his ankle, and it was more severe than a roll, but it was the hip drop tackle, and people were basically saying, "Oh, Logan Wilson's a dirty player," and it's like, no, like he's just trying to stop Mark Andrews from scoring a touchdown right at the goal line. Like it's getting out of hand.
I mean, it's going to be hard to change that whole rule up when, I don't know, the safety is the main concern in football and the NFL. But then, like, the safety is... yeah, you're right. It shouldn't be. And again, it should. But if we're thinking about it, now you're just really thinking about the offensive players. What about the defensive players who have to make some of these hard-hitting plays they make, and that gets them a job? There was one guy Kareem Jackson on the Broncos, who he's probably had some dirty hits, but maybe 15, 20 years ago, those would be normal hits. So now you're taking money out of his check. You're taking money out of his food, his kids' food and all that stuff. And I think he lost his job with the Broncos because of everything that was going on. So
next time he goes to hit somebody on the try to do some dirty stuff, he'll think about some hungry ass kids and not make the hit. That's the logic. That's the logic here. So I mean, look, man, I didn't play football. I don't pretend to be as tough as a football player. I'm not as tough as what Chris is to be trying to get tackle people. I ain't doing all that. And so for me, I don't mind them taking this stuff out the game. I have no problem with it. Okay, I do agree that the sport is diluted, but that's just where we are. That's across the board.
But what the problem with that is, though? You got people making the decisions that have never played football, right? So they don't understand how hard it is, for these defensive players to make a play in that instinct.
That's true.
Right? Because there's all, like, they just haven't played the game at that level, at, the college D1 football level, where these players are just so quick, so powerful, so strong. And you're, I don't know, it gets me tight, man, just thinking about it. Because, again, it's not for, they say it's for the safety, and I because it's for the safety, but you can't also talk about like, oh, it's for the entertainment as well, because that's what it's really for. It's about making the offense more powerful, allowing more touchdowns. Miles just talked about it, about how it was at an all-time low, and they want to have it more exciting, and that's where it's coming from. Let's make it harder on the defense.
It's disingenuous. Okay, they don't care about to help these guys. They don't care. They care about money. They care about ratings. Money and ratings are tied to touchdowns being scored and guys doing celebrations in the end zone, to them being able to prop up new offensive players as faces of the league. You don't prop up defensive players as faces of the league. It doesn't happen. All right, it's not sexy to do that. So they need more guys to be scoring, to be prominent in that way, and it's about dollars and cents. Money moves the needle. It's the same, money moves the needle. It's the same reason why Freaknik got shut down. Money moves the needle. That was crazy, by the way. That was crazy.
You on a roll tonight.
The Freaknik situation was crazy. And I saw some of y'all moms and dads on the Freaknik. I ain't talking about it here.
Yo, so listen, when me and my pops and uncle was down in Atlanta a few weeks ago, my uncle didn't know what Freaknik was, and my dad was telling him, because he went to North Carolina A&T for a semester, and he was trying to explain what Freaknik was to my uncle. And boy, you should have seen my uncle's face just hearing about what Freaknik was. And my dad's like, "Yeah, man, that's why I could only stay at North Carolina A&T for a semester, because boy," he's like, I would have gotten in some trouble.
You down with the Freaknik?
Huh?
Yeah, was that Freaknik?
Yeah, he said my mom had to watch the little Netflix series to make sure they wasn't in it.
Oh my god,
that's crazy, bro. He said
Hey, yo, they was wilding, bro.
My dad said
They were wild.
playing that video, looking for himself in the background.
He was sweating.
Oh, that's crazy, bro. Oh my God. I know I changed the subject, but the NFL is disingenuous. All right, guys. They're disingenuous. They don't care about the safety of these players. They care about money and they care about ratings. And so I understand Chris's frustration. It's very fair. I just, it's tough. It's a tough thing to do. I don't know how you bring people down while running behind them without hip dropping. I don't know what you do. You just jump on the back and go for a ride. Jump on the back and go for a ride.
That's the thing. You can't even hit the quarterback anymore. It's become a issue where maybe 20 years ago you could light a quarterback up and he's got to get up and go on to the next play. That's what made quarterbacks tough. Now you push a guy to the ground and all of a sudden there's a yellow flag on your feet. So now it's like, what can I do? What can I do as a defender?
Yeah, that is ridiculous. There's a little too much. There's a little overprotection of the quarterbacks. I understand because when you lose your quarterback, your season's over. Unless you were the Giants and your season was over to begin with, anyways. But that's just the reality of the situation. So I don't know. I get it. But yeah, Chris having a free thing threw me off though.
Huh?
And then off with this one. You mentioned ratings. Last year on 2023, they had 3 Christmas games. The average was 28.6 million views, peaking at 42 million views at one point. They are doing it again this year. They are running it back. They're going to have Christmas games again for the NFL. Hate it or love it. Football games on Christmas.
Love it.
Yeah,
What?
It's like Thanksgiving, but don't have to eat turkey.
Yeah, too much going on in one day for me. I'm trying to watch basketball. I'm trying to keep on about football. It's a lot.
It's not really a lot because there's not a ton of basketball games going on. There's not a ton of football games. It's like
on Christmas Day, Chris.
On Christmas Day, sure, but like you're saying outside of sports, there's a lot going on.
No, there's a lot of basketball games. There's like 4 or 5 games all day.
It's like 5 games on that day. I mean, I'm not complaining. I love sports. Don't get me wrong. But it's just a lot to try to make. I'm trying to watch the basketball games if there's a good matchup. I'm gonna watch Bron. I'm gonna watch whatever. So
you got cable.
I don't know. Well, yeah, that ain't the point.
That's a great Christmas.
You got one screen.
No, you got one screen. You got to tap into that multi-view.
Nigga, how you tap into see? How you tap into the multi-view? How you tap into multi-view on 2 different sports is the question I have. I mean,
you gotta improve your setup, bro.
I'm gonna have to.
You gotta have a laptop out playing some NFL games. You gotta have the TV on playing the NBA games. You gotta have an iPad on the side.
Here's what I'll say. I don't like the NBA. I don't like the NFL trying to get the NBA out of here and push them to extinction. This is ridiculous. The NBA's thing was Christmas Day for the longest time. Now y'all taking that away. Because you guys know you're going to wipe the floor with them in terms of ratings. So really, what does the NBA have left? What are we seeing here? This is bad, man. Like, again, like the only person that can compete, the only individual star that the NBA had that could compete with an NFL game was LeBron James. And I don't want to say in the past tense, he's still around, but like, what are we doing, NBA? Like, it's a problem. How do you combat this? Because you just lost a whole lot of viewership on Christmas Day, and that was like your thing. That was your centerpiece, in terms of getting viewership around except for the finals and playoffs. So it sucks. Well, we'll see what ends up happening. It's not a problem for me to solve. It's a problem for that pointy-eared guy up in Secaucus to figure out.
Yo, next week we gonna touch on the next 5 picks. We talking about 16 through 20. We gonna touch on who we have as our all rookie team, rookie of the year. Probably a couple more of the awards because it's only 2 weeks left. It's like 8 or 9 games left in the season. So we're going to have an episode where we're breaking down the awards. Celtics lose another close game tonight. It was absolutely disgusting, and they lose to the Hawks. Jason Tatum and the rest of that squad is not ducking the fourth quarter struggle allegations at all. This, to me, just intensifies it. We're going to end off with 1 game. Over under. MLB season has started. It is in full effect. Over under. Mets 80.5 wins.
Under. I don't even know who's in the team. Under. Terrible. I don't know. I hope and I hope because I say under, they'll go over, but under.
Yankees 90.5 wins.
I'm gonna say over. I mean, that's not that unrealistic. Usually, the Yankees are shooting for 100, so I think as long as they're able to stay healthy. I mean, we got to win today, and we got a lot of production out of Soto, offensively and defensively. If we can keep that up and get some good pitching, which that looks like that's going to be our biggest factor this season, is how good of our starting rotation we're going to get production out of. But I think over 90, yeah.
Over under Pete Alonso 42.5 homers.
Contract year, yo. He's going for 60.
Is it, well,
Greg thought it was crazy. He thought it was crazy when I said that he was going to get the bag. He's going to get the bag.
I don't think it's crazy at all. Wouldn't I say it was crazy that he get money? He plays baseball. He's white. He's a first baseman. He's gonna get paid. I'm not surprised by that. What I said who he's gonna get paid by is the thing that matters. Who, and I think the Mets aren't gonna let him walk. That's just me. So, I think he'll end up being a Met, and get a bag for the Mets, especially if he has 42 home runs. So I'll take the over. That'd be fun. You got to give us something to watch as a Mets fan. Shit.
Over under Aaron Judge 41.5 homers.
I say over. I mean, he almost hit that with missing 40% of the games last year. So, I mean, all he has to do is stay healthy. The guy's strong enough. He could hit 40 in his sleep. And now that he's got Soto in the lineup, that adds a little more protection.
Now, we're going to end off with this. The game is going on currently, so I wanted to ask y'all. Pelicans are a couple seconds away from beating the Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks have had back-to-back games and games throughout the whole season where Giannis is a liability in the fourth quarter, especially of close games, specifically close games, I should say. Who would you rather in the fourth quarter, Zion Williamson or Giannis Antetokounmpo?
I know you're not serious.
I mean, right now, currently, I would say Zion. Like, he's playing some of his best basketball that he's played in a while. I just want to see him do it in the playoffs. Like, usually he hasn't been healthy enough to help his team this far in the season. Giannis has kind of proven it on a deeper stage, proven it on a deeper playoff run. But right now, like Giannis, the free throws are an issue. I'm sure he doesn't want to touch the ball when it's late in the game and he could get fouled and then it's on him to hit free throws because he lost that game for them against the Lakers. All he had to do was hit some free throws and game's over. But, I mean, 1 for 6 from the line. The least you can do is hit free throws. Like, that's literally the least you can do. Nobody's guarding you. Nobody's stopping you. You're basically taking 24 seconds to shoot them. So I hope you would be able to make them anyway, but he still struggles. So, I mean, right now I would take Zion down the stretch over Giannis.
Yes, I think that goes without saying that you take Zion over Giannis over down the stretch. Giannis has no go-to move. There's no skill offensively at all, and so you just see that glaring issue every time you watch that guy play. And it's sad to watch because he's been in the NBA for too long for that to be the case. He's been in the NBA for too long for that to be the case. So, all the hard work stuff. I mean, look, he works on his physique. He's clearly in great shape. He's a great athlete, and that gets him through. I don't know if that guy's going to age the best when it's all said and done because the way he chooses to try to go play basketball, where he rams into you at full speed, hoping a ref bails him out with a call. It's not fun to watch. It's the reason why he cannot be the face of the NBA. It's one of the reasons. I think he would have been a prime candidate for it, but when that's the way you play the game, ain't nobody want to watch that. And I sure as heck wouldn't pay to watch him play. So, yeah, I'm taking Zion for sure. Zion's got more finesse to his game. Zion's far more entertaining to watch. The dunks, the leaping ability, and to see someone that large fly through the air like that. I mean, that is a whole lot of Roscoe's chicken and waffles flying through the air and at that kind of speed, for him to put that to dunk like that, hey, it's a lot of fun to watch that guy. He's an inspiration to me, honestly. Eat whatever you want, still be able to fly through the air like that. Love that guy.
Yo, we end off with this one. Who has more 50-point games, Stephen Curry or Kevin Durant?
Kevin Durant.
Who has more all time? Like just
All-time
distribute?
50-point games, Stephen Curry or Kevin Durant?
I think Steph might surprise us. I'll take Steph. You would assume it's KD, but I'll take Steph.
To your point, Steph, 13 50-point games, KD only 9.
I told y'all KD. We trying to tell you about KD, man. We trying to put your faith in a guy who don't brush his hair like Miles.
Man, that was your savior a few years ago.
How'd that work out for me? That's my point.
I tried to tell you, but they called me crazy when I said it.
You only said that because the Knicks didn't get him at the time. Anyone listen to your sour ass at the time, Nick?
I don't want him. He's hopping from.
No one's gonna listen to you.
Hey, you already know the vibes. If you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. Bench Mob, we out. And speaking of though, KD and those Suns, I think the Phoenix Suns do not make the playoffs this year. They will not make the playoffs. They'll miss it. I'm not saying they're not going to make the play-in. They will not make the playoffs this year. They'll probably lose in the play-in. We've seen how they've been playing. Bradley Beal's hurt again. I think they will miss the playoffs. Stay ready. You ain't got to get ready. Peace.
Peace.